Welcome into today's Michelleology Evolution Meditation. It is Freedom Friday. It is Fantastic Friday. It is a day that God has made. It's time for us to rejoice and be glad in it. This is an opportunity to create a day. Don't let your day create you. You create your day. We're on principle number 5. Principle number 5 in the 7th principle of God is the law of rhythm. We've covered principle 1, mentalism. We've covered principle 2, correspondence. We've covered principle 3, vibrations. We've covered principle 4, which was yesterday. I almost forgot it. Polarity. How could I forget polarity? And today we're covering principle number 5. Principle number 5 is the principle of rhythm. Remember, I told you that the 7 principles of God in your meditation gives you balance, puts you on one accord. It clears out your chakras. It causes you to move in your life in a better place, in a better mind, state of mind. It causes you to move in creativity, causes you to do all of those things. So today we're going to do the principle of rhythm. I do suggest again that you get the Kabbalah. It is a book that covers the 7 principles. You will learn, or you will be educated on a lot of things that will explain why your life is the way it is, why it has been going in whatever flow that it's been going in. It is an awesome book. I recommend it. It's enlightening. It's encouraging. It makes you aware and conscious of things that you normally have not been aware of. But it says everything flows out and in. This is the principle of rhythm. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. It's a measured motion, a to and fro, a flow, an inflow, a swing back and forwards. It's a pendulum-like movement. Now, if you're not familiar with what a pendulum is, I do have one. This is a pendulum. And the pendulum is saying that the law of rhythm, the pendulum swings levelly back and forth, which means everything in your life is in an even flow. It just seems like your life is out of control. But the pendulum has a steady rhythm. It doesn't change its rhythm because the atmosphere changed. It is an inward and an outward flow. It doesn't change. And so this pendulum is also in the father clock, the God, what is it? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. The big clock, the Godfather clock, where the pendulum goes back and forth at a steady rhythm. Now, although the time changes on the clock, the pendulum still stays at the same rhythm. So the principle of rhythm is saying that once you get your life, once you are aware, once you're conscious that your life is at an even flow, it even flows. It goes back and forth. It goes in and out, but it never stops its rhythm. Your heart beats at a constant rhythm. It doesn't matter. The only thing about your heart is if you get afraid, it starts to beat faster, but it's still the same rhythm. That's awesome right there. So when you get in your life at a place that you can find yourself, you can define yourself as a rhythm, that no matter what state you find yourself in, you find contentment, because you know the rhythm of your life is in the hands of God. And just because there's chaos in the atmosphere doesn't mean that you react to the chaos. It means that this is going to really calm you down. Once you recall this meditation, when something happens, the principle of rhythm is going to kick in, because you're going to become conscious of that. It's going to calm your breathing down. It's going to calm you down in whatever state you find yourself, whether it's a 911 or whether it's a 411. Your rhythm is going to continue to be like the rhythm of the pendulum. Now, one thing about the pendulum, I am not making it move. It has a rhythm. It moves on its own. And so that's why you're not conscious that you have this rhythm until you become conscious that you have this rhythm. And so it causes you, same thing with meditation, causes you to come down to an even flow. So let's see what else we have in here that will be beneficial to you. They're saying that the principle of rhythm coincides with the principle of polarity, which we talked about yesterday. Everything is the same pole. It just has a different degree. And so we talked about polarity being there's always an opposite. You're not in the same state. There is always an opposite. You have to be mindful of that. And when you're in trouble, there is a way out. When you have a problem, there is a solution. If you're feeling sick, there is a healing. And a lot of times we just focus on what that issue is. We don't see that there's another side, and there's a rhythm to your life. Ooh, ain't that good? You're not just in this. God has not forgotten you. God has set principles that cause you never to be, as Ecclesiastes 3 says, there's a time and a season for everything under the sun, which means you are not staying where you are. You don't have to be where you are. The thing about it is you have to have a vibration. You have to have the polarity. You have to have correspondence. You have to have mentalism. The first principle was mentalism, knowing that mind is all and all is God and all is mind. And so when you encompass that, there's a certain vibration that just happens. There's a certain vibe that just comes on you. That's why you're able to have an aura in all this space where when you come into the room, the atmosphere changes, because the Spirit of God always moves. Everything about God's principle is a movement, sowing and reaping. You know, it's a movement. You have to be a receiver before you can be a giver. I know you thought you had to be a giver before you could be a receiver, but God says He gives seed to the sower. So you have to receive what God has given you before you can be a giver to the atmosphere, to the universe, to those around you, to your family. During this time of this pandemic, you have become a vibration within your family. Your family was able to feel you. You were able to know some things about your family that you've been too busy to pay attention to. This pandemic has caused us to be intentional, to pay attention, to be aware, to be conscious of, to be motivated. It has placed us in our true mentalism. We have repented. Repent means to return back to your original. We have turned back to the before state where God was intimate with us. He planted the seed. He knew us, that we will be a prophet to the nation. A prophet is not a title. It is a movement. It is an action. It is having a connection with God, to know those things that you wouldn't normally know because they're unknown to the flesh, but they are known to the Spirit. Oh, that's good right there. Everything that is unknown to the flesh is known to the Spirit. That's why we must walk in the Spirit. That's why we meditate, to get connected to the Spirit. That's why we're here today. That's why God has allowed us to still be in the land of the living. We're on top of the ground, and the ground is not on top of us. And so today, as we begin to meditate that our life is a rhythm, as we begin to meditate that God has us, that our steps have been ordered, that we're in this place, we're in this race, we're in this purpose, we're in this time space, and we are making a difference in our lives first. Remember, you got to receive and sow into your life first before you can go out and make a difference to anybody. You remember, the pendulum swings, the rhythm. the possibilities, the opportunities. You will not always be in a state where you don't see movement in your life, where you don't see change in your life. This is just giving you a visual of how your life flows. This causes you to concentrate. This causes you to focus. This causes you to be intentional, because the rhythm goes in and out. And the rhythm has a flow. Your life has a flow. So this morning, as we begin to meditate, we want to meditate on knowing that our life is a rhythm, that our life has meaning, that you are purposely here. You're not here by accident. You didn't just stumble into this. God created you with purpose. And when God creates with purpose, He is the author and the finisher of our faith. He never leaves us unfinished. He never leaves us in a place. He's already set it where there is a way of escape. There's always a way of escape. You're not stuck in this situation. You're not stuck in relationships. You're not stuck in jobs. You have to get the visualization of the pendulum as your life has rhythm. Your life has space. Your life has creativity. Do not allow people to decide your rhythm. Oh my God. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter how they're talking about you. Your life has rhythm. And when you can focus on knowing that your life has rhythm, knowing that you're purposely here, don't allow the gifts and the callings that God has allowed you to have to be stopped by people. That's an outside interference. We're working in an intervolution. We're moving from the inside to the outside. We're making a difference. You are not just here. It doesn't matter how old you are. Your life has a rhythm. Your life has a meaning. Your life has perspective. You are the greatest version of you. You're an original. You never can be duplicated. Oh my God, this is an encouraging word to somebody that's listening. You cannot give up. You cannot give in, because your life is a rhythm and it has purpose, and God is the author and finisher. Don't you allow other people to finish you. What? You come too far for all that. You've been through too much. You've conquered too much. You're not a survivor. You're a conqueror. You're more than a conqueror. If God declares that you're more than a conqueror, if God says to you, you're greater than people say you are, if God decided that you had purpose, why do we let people determine what our purpose is? Why do we allow people to say that we can't, and you're not this, and you're not pretty, and you're too fat, and your hair's too short, your hair's too long? Why do we allow people to place titles on us? Just because somebody says it doesn't mean that it is to be. So we're creators. We're going forth. Remember, this is principle 5. The rhythm of your life. The rhythm of your life. There's a flow on your life. Whew. And if you can do this, you can feel the movement, the flow on your life. You can feel the breath of God breathing back into your soul. You are not existing. You are living. You are a living soul. Oh my God. Some of us have forgotten that we are a living soul. Namaste. I bow to the divine presence in you. That's what that is. That's a transcript word that means that we have to bow to the divine presence in ourselves. We look at everybody else. Oh, they're so anointed. Oh, they're this. Ooh. But we never look in the mirror and declare and decree that we are divine presence moving in the power of God. Remember, this is your canvas. This is your creative force. All of this space is where you can create. All of this space is where your rhythm is. Don't forget your creator. And we have to move in on that. Well, let's begin. I got off on my soapbox. So let's begin our meditation. Okay, begin to close your eyes. You can get in the stance of crossing your feet, or you can lay down, or you can sit in a chair. Put these two fingers together because we're connecting to our heart. You know, we're giving an okay that it's okay to flow in the anointing. Remember, as I lead you in meditation, I cannot take you anywhere you don't want to go, and I can't take you anywhere that the Spirit is not going to lead you. So you don't have to be afraid of meditation. You don't have to be afraid of being lost. You don't have to be afraid of any of that. This is a place where God says meditate day and night. He is taking you somewhere. He is causing you to move in a dramatic force. You are a force to be reckoned with. Yes. So you begin to close your eyes and we begin to breathe from our root chakra, which is the base of your spine. Bring that air from all the way down in that belly, the bottom of your belly to the top of your crown, to the top of your head. Hold it. Release. Now, deep breathing causes the right amount of oxygen to flow in your body. The way we breathe is shallow breathing. So you have to incorporate deep breathing in your life in order that your body, your cells, your atoms, your enzymes, all of those things, your organs, your systems, receive the right amount of oxygen. Breathe in. Release. Deep breathing causes you to level out, to peace out, to become stressless. You know, anytime that something happens to you and you just deep breathe, that's your body telling you you need to relax. One more time. Clear your mind. The vibrations that you hear in the background is cleansing your house, cleansing out all negativity, giving you peace. Remember that sound has a rhythm, the rhythm of the beat. Every time we hear a rhythm in a song, our body reacts. Either your foot moves, your head moves, your body moves. Even in children, the moment they hear a rhythm, they begin to move. Because your body automatically responds to a rhythm. You are a song in the key of life. Okay? Now, I want you to be conscious. Always be conscious in meditation as to what you're feeling, as your eyes are closed, as your focus is intentional on what God is saying to you at this moment. We're going to focus on the heart because the heart has a steady beat and rhythm. Now, go inside your heart. How many of you have went to your heart just to see what's going on? Let's go into the heart and let's experience the beat. When you quiet your mind, you can hear your heartbeat. You can feel the vibrations. And let's go into your heart. What in your heart is trying to interfere with your beat? What have you experienced that has caused you not to be aware of your heart? Some of us have been in relationships where we don't want to love anymore because we've been hurt, we've been in pain. Today we're going to clear the heart. Get rid of animosity. Get rid of unforgiveness. Get rid of everything that you thought was healed, but you just covered it up. Find that rhythm. Remember, the rhythm continues to flow no matter what state that you find yourself in. Find that peace in there. There's peace in your heart. There's unconditional love. Just because people don't know how to unconditional love does not exclude you from unconditional love. Find that place that needs healing. God cannot heal what you won't reveal. It's your will to be healed. Time doesn't heal you, your will does. Oh my God. You have to have a will to be healed. Can't wait for time. Time waits for no one. Time passes. Time flows. Time is in a rhythm. You have to have a will to be healed from old pain, from past pain, from present pain. You need to be healed from yourself. You've held so much against yourself that your heart has been hardened. Today, God is going to soften your heart back up. He's going to restore and remain and retain the unconditional love. Woo, just breathe right there. The restoration of your heart. We talked about the heart before, where the physical heart, if it stops, they put a machine on your heart that gives your heart a jolt, a vibration, and they say clear. When they say clear, that's when the power hits and causes a rhythm to go back to the heart to start it beating again. Today you need to start your heart to beating back to a beat, a rhythm. So every time you come to a place of pain, you need to say clear. Clear means you're clearing out everything that's stopping the beats of your heart. Clear it out. Don't be afraid to release it. Some unforgiveness that you have is not hurting that person. It's destroying you. Release it. Clear. Every time that you find a place in your heart that needs to go, you need to stay clear. And do it with some force, because as you begin to talk, your voice has a rhythm. And we are back. Yes, we have gone through the rhythm, the principle of rhythm. God is an awesome God. And let's become more and more conscious of who God is in our life and where God is taking us. And we have to have a will. We got to stop wanting and stop needing, because God says, I am your shepherd. You shall not want. He's giving you a will. So every time you say, I am willing, you know, people used to always say, God willing. Now you say, why do they say that? God is always willing. Are you willing? You know, people just say things and you continue to say that and you have no foundation for saying it. God willing. God is always willing. God's answer is yes and amen. He will agree with what you agree with. As above, so below. As below, so above. You have to get that principle in correspondence. You have to know that God is not surprised by what's going on in your life. He did just not come to the day and say, Michelle, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening in your life. God was there before. Before I got here, God had already prepared a way for today. So whatever you face today, it is not a surprise to God. Come on, y'all. Let's stop making God human and make him divinity as he is. We got to see him in the eyes of faith. We got to have an insight, not an eyesight. Remember, the eyesight is illusional. It changes. Change is illusional. It never stays the same. So you have to be stabilized. You have to be foundationalized in the things of God. Well, this is Michelle, and I'm your motivator on Freedom Friday. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Remember, you've been created by the Creator to be creative. So start your creating and your creation. Stop duplicating. It's time for you to create your own stuff. It's time for you to create your own gifts. It's time. God has already made room for your gift. You've got to be willing to move into your gift. I hope that the love, joy, peace, and the sound mindedness of God be your soul food for today. Now, be here tomorrow for principle number 6. We're almost there, and we're going to have our foundation for meditation. I love you. Praise God for you. Thank you for joining me. Please share. Please go back on the replay and listen again. You can always, this is a living word. Meditation is a living word. So every time you listen, you'll get something different. That's how the word of God is. Be blessed and know that God is a rhythm in your life.